Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Today I woke up to some bad news about Hearthstone and I have been trying to figure this out all morning. Starting with this tweet, we're seeing reports of layoffs at Blizzard seemingly focused on the Hearthstone team. We don't know the extent of this yet. Well, we still don't know the full extent of this. I've seen some speculation that around 10 people have been let go, but I haven't seen any evidence about that. I know some people who have been let go who have already made like LinkedIn posts about that. So for example, we have Hunter here. After 18.5 years at Blizzard Entertainment, I've been laid off without notice as of today. Yeah, American system that just wouldn't fly in Europe, but USA. The Hearthstone team is apparently being restructured and my tools engineer role is no longer needed. If anyone has need of an experienced tools engineer with nearly 2 decades of experience at AAA gaming company, I'm open to being part of helping create your worlds. And Joe Belasek, senior producer, today after 2 years I was unexpectedly laid off from the Hearthstone team. It wasn't a long time, but I made the most of it and was making it mine. Goodbye to Big Campus Hawk, hopefully we'll both see better days soon. So yeah, those are a couple of people who have already publicly announced that they were laid off. There were some others, we don't know the full extent yet, but yeah. So first thing, the way layoffs are done in the United States, well, at will employment. You can leave at any time, you can be laid off at any time. That's just how it works. However, there are some caveats, like Eric Never's comments on Hunter's post, when there were people lying, oh, how could they just let you go immediately and how will you do financially? Eric comments, I was let go 2 weeks ago from Blizzard after nearly 18 years as well. If Hunter's situation is like mine, we were given 60 days notice. We're not officially separated until November, so we're not working and without access to work while we're on notice. So this has to do, I believe, with California legislation about 60 days. And Blizzard typically chooses not to give 60 days advance notice, but then they can just pay their way out of that. So at least they will have, probably, I hope, they will at least have a couple of months of paychecks coming in, so they will have some time to land on their feet. But yeah, layoffs. What can I say about layoffs? I have read all the conversation I have been able to find on social media, on Twitter, everywhere about these Blizzard layoffs. And I have to say that reading that social media discussion really hurt my mental health. People are so incredibly unsympathetic to people who have been laid off, and I have to say that if you have a job, if you're able to ever get a job, and you get a job like in a major company and then there's layoffs and there's layoffs and there are layoffs. My brother actually works for a major global company. He has worked there for like 30 years and he has survived around 40-ish rounds of layoffs, I believe. So yeah, like they happen. They just happen all the time in big companies. And they are never fair. Like typically people who are laid off are just completely fine people. Maybe sometimes they catch like somebody who is actually underperforming, but that's more like down to dumb luck than actually layoffs being an efficient way to improve the performance of a company. And the more layoffs you see, the more cynical you will get, because you notice that time and time and time again, it's just good people being laid off. And the restructuring often also just doesn't even help. So yeah, they still happen. They are a way to cut costs. The remaining people will find ways to make things work, because they have to. What else are you going to do? Just leave your job? No, you will find some way to make it work, even though things suck and people who were laid off were actually needed. But after a typical layoff, people will just put in more work, put in more effort. Somehow, in a worse way, things will still continue and company executives can say that, hey, we made more profit. So don't be happy about layoffs. Never be happy about layoffs, because layoffs are not the tool that you might think they are. Like, hey, bad people are let go, good people will remain, the company will be better. It just doesn't work that way. I've never seen or heard about layoffs where it would have worked that way. So never rejoice about layoffs. But obviously I'm not here just to commiserate the people who were laid off. I'm also here to talk about Hearthstone, talk about the game that we play. So what does this mean for Hearthstone? One of the things I have seen a lot in the social media discussions that has also reduced my faith in humanity, even though it was already low, it's even lower now, was the leaks that had been going around. I hadn't made a video about those leaks, because they are some of the most stupid junk I have ever seen in my life. But lots of people are now bringing them up, so let's take a look. Here is the alleged leak about Blizzard. Overwatch 2 is undergoing hasty redesign behind the scenes. Diablo 4 has lost most of its original development staff. Dragonflight is the remains of a cancelled mobile game, co-produced with Chinese partners that was bolted onto World of Warcraft. I mean, the utter and sheer stupidity of this note is, I'm sorry to have killed some of your brain cells. But people are now pointing out about this one sentence about Hearthstone. Hearthstone is at the lowest engagement metrics it has ever been at. Attempts to increase monetization per player has failed, and it's considered on its last legs. Well, is that true? There are also people saying, okay, well, some of that stuff was obviously false, but the part about Hearthstone is true. Well, one thing we have in that LinkedIn discussion, Hunter wrote that to the best of his knowledge, Hearthstone was doing well. They had just recently shown off how well we were doing in a team meeting. Yeah, so that's an insider view that Hearthstone is doing well. Are there any other indications that Hearthstone is doing well? Well, we have Blizzard's revenue reports, and those revenue reports, they have not mentioned Hearthstone recently. And you know, it is a public company. They have to tell when something is clearly changing. They have to tell if Hearthstone is doing super strong right now. They have to tell us if Hearthstone is just completely slumping and going down the drain, because investors have to know. They can't keep the secret from the investors. And there hasn't been anything, so Hearthstone's performance has not drastically changed over the past year or so. So yeah, that's just complete bollocks. Hearthstone is not dying. Hearthstone is not doing super poorly. That's not what this is all about. So what is this all about? Well, the Microsoft acquisition is going to close. It looks like CMA has given preliminary findings that, okay, this will be allowed to close. Everyone is now expecting it to close in October. And companies often do some restructuring, cut some costs before they are being acquired. Okay, so that's definitely something that could happen. Another thing, why does it concern Hearthstone in particular? Well, the Microsoft acquisition, I have great hopes for the Microsoft acquisition. Blizzard could be freed from Activision, lots of good things could happen, but the way Microsoft sees Activision Blizzard has not really been what I had hoped it would be. Now that we had some court document leaks, actual court documents, and they showed what Microsoft thought about Blizzard and what Microsoft thought about Hearthstone at least earlier in the acquisition process. And what they thought was this. So Hearthstone players typically, we want to think we are here. Game Pass. Accelerate Game Pass subscriptions across console and PC. But no, we're not here. World of Warcraft is here, but we're not here. We're here. Advertising. Expand the Microsoft Audience Network to PC and mobile games. Call of Duty Mobile, Candy Crush, and Hearthstone. So this is the reference group that Microsoft has at least previously seen Hearthstone belong into. We want to think, Hearthstone players at least, I want to think, that Hearthstone is here with World of Warcraft. Hey, yay! But Microsoft thinks we're here with Candy Crush. So that, in a way, could also explain some restructuring, some cutting of costs. If it's a mobile game, it's supposed to be a cash cow game. Yeah, the expectations are a little bit different than from those Game Pass games. So that's one possible explanation why they want to make the bottom line look a little bit more attractive to Microsoft because of the reference group they're putting Hearthstone in. But that's all just speculation. Either way, it doesn't look like Hearthstone is doing too poorly. It doesn't look like Hearthstone is dying. It looks like a limited number of people were let go. I don't think it was fair to let those people go. I don't think those people were in any way degrading Hearthstone's performance. And I believe that the team will somehow make it work, because that's what employees do when executives make stupid decisions. They just somehow struggle through it. And that's my take on the layoffs at Blizzard and layoffs in the Hearthstone team. The future of Hearthstone. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.